Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video in the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to another rebuild here on Madden 24. Today, we are taking on a Lambeau leap of a rebuild. We are going to be rebuilding the Green Bay Packers. There is a lot of history with this organization. Obviously, Vince Lombardi back in the 60s winning the first 2 Super Bowls in history. And then obviously you've got all these legendary players that have walked through these doors. And more recently, in the 90s, you've got Brett Favre, who, great football player, bad human being. Then you've got the next generation, Aaron Rodgers, who, good football player, bad human being for different reasons. Not so much a bad human, annoying human being, basically. Then you've got the next generation after that. You've got Jordan Love. Is Jordan Love the guy? We're going to find out in this video. If you guys are excited, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, because this could be the toughest one yet. We have arrived at Week 1, 2023. Year 1 is about to be underway. Let's start by choosing the ever-important first draft class, and it looks like there are some quarterbacks at the very top. Do we go quarterback right away, or do we trust the process with Mr. Jordan Love? I think we might. I think there's a possibility that we stick around with Jordan, because he's still in the low 70s, but he could have a very, very good career if he's in the right system, if he's got the right players around him. I have already adjusted the scheme to play in Kansas City and Dallas. We're not wasting any time. I don't want to waste a season of Jordan Love's development. This is kind of like the Bears rebuild where I did no trading, where I went straight off the bat with the Kansas City playbook for Justin Fields, because I don't want to waste any time. Justin Fields ended up developing really, really well, so we're not going to waste any time whatsoever with Jordan Love's playing around with the Packer playbook and Jordan Love's development. No. We're going straight for the fences, and we are going to try to make Jordan Love the guy. Other guys around are Aaron Jones, who I'm hoping to keep. He is already 28 years old, so he's a little bit on the older side, especially in Madden, but he is a superstar development player, and he's very good. And I think he can have a good career here, and he can win a championship. He can be a part of a championship here in Green Bay. I just don't know if it takes us 3 seasons if he's still around. I hope he is, because I think he's going to be the star running back for us. A.J. Dillon is another thing. We could trade him, send him off to another team, and possibly get some decent value back for him. As for the receivers, we already have 3 young ones. It's not like we have to draft a receiver. We have Romeo Doubs, who is from Nevada, and a second-year man who's got good potential. He just has no development. But if Jordan Love can get him the ball a lot, he can go up very quickly. Then we have Christian Watson from North Dakota State, who has star development, who's very fast, 96 speed, 94 excel. He can have a good career here. And then we have the rookie, Jaden Reed, who has unbelievable potential at 20. He is only 20, or he is already 23, but he's got good speed, good catching, and he's 75 overall already. I like the receiving core that we have here. We just need to see them develop, and good morale will definitely help that. I could certainly draft a 4th receiver, or maybe sign a 4th receiver in free agency or something, just to have a little bit more depth. But I really think that these 3 guys are the core. I hope, depending on, we'll see how it goes, how it plays out during the video. But I do think that these 3 guys are the core of this receiving core. Yeah, they're the core. As for the offensive line, I like Josh Myers. He's a Buckeye. You gotta love him, but he is only 73, so he might get not traded. He might get switched out for a higher overall rookie or something in an upcoming draft. You never know, because there's always good centers in draft classes, in the auto-generated draft classes. So I do like Josh Myers. If he does lose his starting job, I could definitely move him to a backup and just keep him around just because he's a Buckeye and I like him. As for everybody else, Elton Jenkins is 27. Hopefully the franchise left guard for us. That's the goal. because he's unbelievable. So I'm hoping that he is the franchise left guard. As for everybody else, I could see changes coming anytime. David Bakhtiari's already 31. He's still got some years left, maybe 1 to 2 at this high level, but after that, who knows? And then we've got this interesting player over here, Zach Tom, second-year man from Wake. Do we think he can turn into something? Yeah, he can probably turn into something. Will he during this video? Maybe, probably not. I don't know. Offensive line struggles to develop in Madden. We'll see how it goes. As for the tight ends, since we are in Kansas City playbook, Luke Musgrave is going to soar through the sky. He's going to be an X factor probably within the next 2 seasons. So Luke Musgrave is already 76 overall, no development trait just yet. But like I said, in the Kansas City playbook, in the Travis Kelce role, he is going to be an X factor very soon. Hopefully, same thing with Jordan Love. And then on the defense, there's a lot more promising things over here. We've got ourselves a very promising linebacking core with Lucas Van Ness, who I do have as a pass rusher on the defensive line right now, but that's just because there's a lot of depth on the outside linebacking room. We're probably not going to have Preston Smith here for more than a season. I'll probably trade him in the offseason, I would think. We'll see. But we have Quay Walker, who's a very interesting player. Hasn't really become what the Packer fans thought he was going to be out of Georgia, but he's a very solid young linebacker and certainly can turn into what they think he can if given the right scheme as well. We've got a bunch of older guys, though, like Devondre Campbell and Preston Smith, who could certainly be out of the door pretty soon. We've got a stud and unbelievable player in Rashawn Gary. I love Rashawn Gary. I think he's one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now. He's so good, especially in Madden, especially in Madden. And then as far as corners, we've got obviously Kenny Clark, unbelievable player, one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Maybe you would take, probably you would take Chris Jones over Kenny Clark, but there's not many more people you would take over Kenny Clark. As for secondary help, there's not a whole lot to be happy about. We've obviously got the stud Jair Alexander, but other than him, there's not a whole lot that I'm intrigued by. Although there is one person, there's a rookie out of Oregon. I think you know where I'm going with this. I want to try to grab Christian Gonzalez at some point in this video because I think pairing him alongside Jair Alexander would be a unbelievable pairing. So I kind of want to try to do that. The only guy that I could think of probably trading to get him is Rasul Douglas, but I like Rasul Douglas. He's 28 years old. I think he's got a spot in this cornerback room. But we'll have to see. We'll have to play it out. Maybe we trade Preston Smith to get him because the Patriots love getting outside linebackers that are old and slow. That is the Packer team. There's some bright spots, obviously. This is probably one of the more interesting rebuilds in terms of how many people are possible mainstays on this team when we end up winning a championship. But we'll see how it goes. 81 offense, 84 defense, 82 overall team. Let's simulate to the midseason mark, see how the Kansas City playbook is working for Jordan Love, see if we got good morale, and then we'll evaluate from there. We've made it to week 8, the midway point of the year, and we are 5-1. The Kansas City playbook combined with this Packer team seems to be a cheat code or something because we're getting good play out of everybody. We've got good morale. Jaden Reed is a star development player. Jordan Love is playing up to a 78. I'm assuming Luke Musgrave is having a good year. The defense is playing good. We do need to fill out the defensive line a little bit with the defensive tackle. Lucas Van Ness ends up being a star. No surprise there. But we are getting good morale, and we're winning games. That is a big, big key. And this is only year number 1. So just, I guess, Packer fans, call up your organization because it's not a one owner team. It's like a group owner kind of thing, like a not fan owned, but you guys get it. It's not like a normal ownership in the NFL. Call them up, tell them to run Kansas City's playbook and Dallas's defense, and you'll start winning games. So I didn't say it. Madden told me to say it. Let's talk about some interesting things, though. Negotiations. We have $26 million. We absolutely have to pay Rashawn Gary. Unfortunately, we have to pay him like an edge rusher, and that sucks. Darnell Savage probably do want to pay, I would think. But we got to spend all of our money, absolutely every single penny we have, to bring back Rashawn Gary. I mean, look at that. It's going to take us down to 8 million. But we have to bring back Rashawn Gary. We cannot afford to lose my main man. So we are going to put the maximum amount of years on him. We are going to add even a little bit more just to sweeten the pot. And Rashawn Gary should come back 7 years. He's locked up for the entirety. Wait, no. Offer submitted. He didn't accept that? I thought he said that he appreciated it and he... Whatever. I'll get him back. Don't worry. Rashawn Gary will be back for the entirety of the rebuild. You don't have to worry about that. As for the national focus, the national focus is receivers, corners, and left tackles. I'd be more interested in the corners than the left tackles, probably. I would certainly be more interested in the corners because I did say that I want to try to get Christian Gonzalez. But I think I'm going to wait until the end of the season to get Christian Gonzalez because I don't want to ruin the chemistry that we got building right now. So we're going to rock with this team. We're going to rock with this season. And hopefully we can continue winning. Maybe only lose one game in year number 1. That would be unprecedented for one of my rebuilds to lose only one game in year number 1. Maybe it can happen. Let's find out. I'll simulate to the end of the year number 1 to the playoffs, and we'll see if we're involved. We have made it to the end of season 1, the year 1 playoffs, and we are the 1 seed in the NFC going 13-4. This is better than any result I could have ever predicted before we started simulating. Jordan Love is our quarterback. He's got to be. I mean, he's playing up to an 80 overall. Everybody's playing up with good morale, even in year number 1. You love to see it. I'm expecting star development from Jordan Love next season. I'm expecting star development from Luke Musgrave. I'm expecting the world from these guys, and we might even win ourselves a championship in year number 1. I doubt it. I doubt we win a championship in year number 1, but that would be unprecedented for my rebuilds to win a championship in year number 1. But let's take a look at those stats for the year. 4,600 yards, 36 touchdowns to just 7 picks for Jordan Love. If he's put in a right playbook, Jordan Love can be a franchise quarterback in the NFL, at least in Madden. Very good season from him, and a very good season from Aaron Jones. 22 touchdowns along with 1,200 yards. That's pretty good. Only 4.4 per carry, but still very, very good season from Aaron Jones. 2 1,000-yard receivers. Shockingly, Luke Musgrave is not one of them. Interesting. 950. I mean, he got 953 and 14 touchdowns. That's still probably good enough to go to star, but I expected him to be up here with the 1,000-yard receivers, and it's Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. 8 touchdowns for Watson, 4 for Doubs, 7 for Jaden Reed with 900 yards as well. So Jordan Love was really spreading the wealth around. Really. And then we go to the defense. Devondre Campbell, 124 tackles. I'm hoping that will become Quay Walker once we move on from Devondre Campbell at some point. Then we got Rasul Douglas. I'm glad I didn't trade him. 98 tackles, 3 picks, 4 tackles for loss. 84 tackles for Quay Walker, 77 for Jair Alexander with 3 picks. Tackle for loss leader was Kenny Clark with 18, no surprise there. 15 for Devontae Wyatt. TJ Slayton actually had 14. He's only like a 60 overall or something, or 70 maybe. He's not very high overall. And he got 14 tackles for loss, 48 tackles. Sack leader is Kenny Clark with 5.5, tied with Devontae Wyatt with 5.5. Rashawn Gary had 5. Campbell had 2. A couple guys had 1. Interception leaders Campbell, Douglas, and Alexander all with 3. So we were turning the ball over with this Dallas playbook. That's pretty darn cool. And I'm expecting us to get to the Super Bowl, but it's Madden simulation in the playoffs. I doubt we even get past the Packers. Let's simulate divisional round again, or get past the Vikings is what I meant, not the Packers. We do, 31-28. We beat the Minnesota Vikings. We take on the 49ers in the NFC title game for a trip to the Super Bowl. This is going to be pretty tough. Year number 1, I'm not going to jump in. It's only year number 1. Are we going to beat the 49ers? We don't. We lose big. 38-7. Not a shock, but that's some good progress already in year number 1. I'm liking the way this team is looking. This could be the quickest rebuild we have ever done. This could be the quickest rebuild we have ever done. 49ers and Ravens in the Super Bowl. I feel like we could have beaten the Ravens if we would have gotten there. I believe we could have beaten the Ravens. But now, since we've made it to the NFC Championship game, our first round pick is a bad one. So we can't forget that. I did re-sign Rashawn Gary, by the way, during simulation, so you don't have to worry about that. Ravens win the Super Bowl. They beat the Niners. It's a rematch from all the way back in, what was that, 2012 they did that? I think so. It looks like Lamar Jackson's the MVP of the league. Patrick Mahomes the MVP of the actual league. Did I say league? Lamar Jackson's Super Bowl MVP is what I meant. No awards for Packers. That's okay. We didn't really have anybody that should have been. I mean, maybe Jaden Reed, but he didn't have 1,000 yards or anything like that. And then maybe Devondre Campbell, but he didn't get enough sacks or picks or anything. So we didn't really have anybody that could have won anything. Not in year number one, at least. But moving to the off season, we have $3.66 million to spend. I do want to take a look at the salaries just to make sure that like A.J. Dillon doesn't have any penalty against him. If we go to 1 year remaining, or 0 years remaining, I guess, and we go down to A.J. Dillon. Okay, so nobody's got penalties on Savage or Runyon or Dillon. That's good. So we can probably trade those guys, I would think. I don't really want them back. I don't think they're going to matter too much. So if we trade, and I might try to trade Darnell Savage for another free safety. If we trade Darnell Savage, I would like to bring Darnell Savage back. We don't have the money because we had to pay Rashawn Gary. That's the problem. I would like to bring him back, but if I can get somebody that's on like a rookie deal, then I would be super happy. Or I could just draft the free safety, but it's hard to draft free safeties. It's certainly hard to draft free safeties in simulation. I mean, there's always good ones, but I'm going to have a late first-round pick, so there's probably not going to be anybody available. We could go with, like, Jalen Petrie as a rookie contract. That's something I was talking about, getting a rookie-scale deal. Jalen Petrie might not be that bad. Let's see if we can get him. Only 2-year difference, and it's really close. Okay, I like this. I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to send them. We have 2 first-round picks. That's nice. We're going to send them a 5th-round pick next season, and that should get the deal done. It does. So Darnell Savage and a 5th go to Houston. We bring in Jalen Petrie to be our new free safety. I like the sound of that. And now we can trade A.J. Dillon for something. I don't know what he's going to get traded for. Probably another running back just to have as a backup. Is there a running back that we can get who's not expensive by any means? We can get Jerome Ford. Rashad White's not super expensive. Isaiah Pacheco, excuse me. Where's Rashee Rice? That's who I want. We can get Devon Achane. I wonder how hard that is to get him. I never get him in rebuilds. It's because the Dolphins have minus $33 million. Why do the Dolphins always struggle with cap? I might need to do a rebuild on the Dolphins just to figure out why they struggle with their cap so much. That might be what I need to do. Where is Rashee Rice? Because he just won Rookie of the Year. He's always winning Rookies of the Year. What team does he play on? Where is he at? Is he on the Chiefs? He can't be on the Chiefs. I was just on the Chiefs. Where is he on the Bucks? He's got to be on the Bucks, right? Oh, here. Oh, no, that's Rashad White. Where is Rashee? What team does Rashee Rice play? He's a running back, isn't he? Or no, he's a receiver. God, I'm stupid. He's a receiver. I apologize for you yelling at your screen. He is a receiver. I understand. I know. Can we? Oh, the Chiefs or the Bucks are minus money too. Why is everybody minus money? Can I get Isaiah Pacheco? I might be able to, but then I'd probably, if I was going to get Isaiah Pacheco, I'd probably have to get rid of Aaron Jones, and I don't really want to do that. Not right now, at least. I don't want to do that. But is there a team that has a cheap running back that I can grab? Can I get Bijan? No, I didn't think I was going to get, I just wanted to throw it out there as if it's a possibility. You never know. Maybe they say yeah. Maybe they say, yes, you can have him. Can I get Jahmyr Gibbs? That'd be a little bit more enticing. I know it's within a division trade, but, ooh, they like Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously. I don't want to trade a first-round pick for Jahmyr Gibbs, for a backup running back, at least. Zeke, Zamir White, Justice Hill. There's J.K. But J.K. is 4.6 on his cap hit. I would like to get J.K. Dobbins, but not at that price. There's not really a lot of backup running backs I want to get. Roschon Johnson's interesting. What's his contract? He's got 3 years left. He's a rookie. Bengals speaks very highly of Roschon Johnson. Maybe he's good. But I kind of like Jerome Ford because I can call him Gerald Ford. But the Browns are negative money too. God, I hate the stupid cap. Why are the Browns, why is everybody minus money? Figure out your cap space, dude. Antonio Gibson, Deuce Vaughn. Can we get Deuce Vaughn? But the Cowboys are minus money. We could have got Deuce Vaughn very easily. But they are minus money. Can I get Tyler? Okay, the Falcons have money. And we can probably get Tyler Algier with maybe another pick or something. Or I could send them John Runyon. I don't want to do that, though. Or maybe I do. Because we're not going to be able to sign John Runyon, so we can send him to Atlanta. And that is very close. And I'll throw in a draft pick. I'll throw in like a 2026 5. Because we already gave up our 2025 5. So, trade offer accepted. A.J. Dillon and John Runyon go to the Falcons. We bring in Tyler Algier to be a backup running back. And that should be everybody that I can't sign that as value. Eric Stokes, we need, oh, it's a good thing I came into this because I want to accept Eric Stokes' option. And then that is, okay, that is everybody else. Perfect. We don't need to, I almost lost Eric Stokes on accident. That was close. We don't need to sign anybody else. We're not going to be able to sign any free agents, unfortunately. So coming off of a hot year where we made it to the NFC title game, we're not going to be able to sign any free agents because we've got no money. So that is unfortunate, but it doesn't look like there's any major free agents here in year number 1. That's nice to know. I probably would try to go and get a D tackle. Maybe I still can, but I got $2 million. Is there going to be anybody that's worth $2 million or that I can bring in for $2 million? Probably not. I think we're fine with what we have. It's not going to be worth it to waste $2 million on a defensive tackle that's not going to be that good. So we're going to go straight to the offseason or straight to the draft. I know we have like a late 20s, early 30s pick, but we've got 2 second-round picks, so we can make something happen in the second round. We need to go for a defensive tackle. We need to go for probably a strong safety, and we need to go for maybe some offensive linemen. Always get offensive linemen. Offensive linemen are always useful, even if it's just for depth reasons, although injuries are off. But offensive linemen can always be useful. And we certainly are going to need to get a tackle at some point because David Bakhtiari is probably going to retire at some point. He hasn't retired just yet because we still have $2 million. Let's take a look at these private workouts. I don't even know what this draft class looks like except for the quarterbacks at the top. They look to be pretty good. I've lost my connection to the servers. No surprise there. We're not going to even focus on any of these guys at the top here because we're not going to be able to get them. So let's go straight to like D tackles and stuff like that. Is it a good D tackle class? Not really. Terrence Woodard. He's a 6'1" power rusher from USC. He's got okay physicals. His finesse moves aren't amazing. He doesn't look fantastic by any means. Tremaine Alexander looks much better physically. And honestly, looks better as a skill-wise, too. I might put one of my focus on him just to learn a little bit more about him. Then we got Floyd Molden. 6'5" as a D tackle. Okay. B finesse moves, A play rec, C power moves. His block shed could be a B, but it also could be a D. A little bit worried about that. I like Tremaine Alexander. I think he could be a good pickup. He probably is our first-round pick now that I look at it. And then there's not a lot of power rushers here, or not a lot of right ends. There's a guy named Roman Stevens, which is a fantastic name. Doesn't look fantastic by any means. Not a lot here. Let's go to corners. Maybe there's a good corner available. I did use corner as my national scout, so we know a lot of these guys. And there's a man coverage guy, Jabari Moss. 6'4" with good speed. He ran a 4.3 at the combine. He's got a man coverage. Okay, I'm interested in Jabari Moss. I might use one of my things on him. A 6'4" corner is pretty good. So Jabari Moss, and he's predicted to go round 1 to 2. Very intrigued by him. As for strong safeties, the highest one is around 2 to 3. Eddie Stevens, who's got great speed, elite strength. He's the fastest safety in the class. He's got a hip power, which I do like. Okay, Eddie Stevens I'm intrigued by very much. Very much so. Let's go to like the offensive tackles. There's a couple there's only round 1s, and then there's nothing else in the right tackle spot. Addison McKinney looks really good. this is a weird draft class in terms of tackles. There's always going to be some good centers available. There looks to be some good... Okay, so there's more left tackles than there is right tackles, so we don't have to worry about that too much. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of them on Tremaine Alexander. I'm going to use one of them on Eddie Stevens for sure. And then I'm going to use one on that corner, Jabari Moss. And those are going to be the 3 guys that we use our final private workouts on. Hopefully, those guys are all available for us to draft and are actually worth drafting. So we're going to advance to the draft and bank on the fact that they are going to be good. So let's just take a look at them. Let's just take one final look at the boys. So let's start with the safety, Eddie Stevens. We got him to 90%. He looks really good physically, and he's got A block shed, B awareness, B play rec, A hit power. I think Eddie Stevens is probably our guy. Definitely our guy. And they did something to these player portraits. Some of these player portraits, like these more animated player portraits, they don't look the same. Like, they look different. I think they added them in, or they made them more prominent, something like that. And we know that Jabari Moss is a top 5 talent. I knew he was going to be good. He's 6'4", he's only 21, he's got decent physicals, and he's got A man coverage, B zone coverage. He is a top 5 talent. We are taking Jabari Moss. Absolutely. We are taking Jabari Moss. And then we got Tremaine Alexander up to 90%. He looks pretty good. I could trade up to get Tremaine Alexander. We'll see. Let's take a look at the mock draft. That's going to be the real big key. So let's go back here. Where are those guys projected to go? We need to look for Jabari Moss, and we need to look for Tremaine, what's his face? There's Jabari Moss. He's pick 22. And Tremaine Alexander's right after him at pick 23. We pick at pick 30. That's not good, because we need to get up to where the Falcons are, because we're not missing out on a top 5 true talent corner. So how do we get up to the Falcons pick? It's not going to be too difficult because it's not a high first-round pick. So we should be able to do it fairly easy, he says, before he actually does try to trade for it. Round 1, pick 30 to trade up to pick 22 is not super off. The Falcons don't have a ton of money, so we can't really do too much in terms of trading actual players. But I can trade you a 3rd-round pick in 2025, and that gets us into the green. I can trade you a 5th-round pick in 2024, so this year. Oops, I didn't mean to take that out. There we go. Let's see what that says. That puts us into deeper green, and I can give you a 4th-round pick in 2026. Okay, I'm going to take the 5th out this year because that's not really going to do too much. I'll give you a 4 in 2024 as well. So 2 4s, a 3, and a 1. Gets us very close. I think back to probably getting rid of this and throwing in a 2nd. If I throw in a 2nd, that probably helps it even more. There we go. So we give up a 4 in 2026, a 2 in 2026, and my first round pick this year, pick 30, to get up to draft that corner. Now, unfortunately, the D tackle is projected to go right after him, so we're not going to be able to trade up again. Texans have the number 1 overall pick. That's actually pretty shocking that CJ Stroud and the team didn't really go up that much or didn't play well. But we are at the 22 pick 22. We are going to take the corner. Jabari Moss, top 5 true talent. Absolutely welcome to the squad. Only normal development. Wow. He's got great stuff, though. 92 speed, 92 excel, 90 agility, 95 change of direction. But only normal development for a true top 5 talent? Wow. Okay, that's quite shocking, I will say. They don't take the D tackle. Tremaine Alexander stays. He's still on the board. The Seahawks took a quarterback. Oh, here we go. Brandon Davis. John Rivers goes. If he falls to pick 10, I will take him, no doubt. Jeremy McBath, and then we'll take the safety as well because we have 2 second-round picks. Chad Cobb. We're getting real close to our pick. Jelani Ruggs. Julius Randolph. A run on running backs is going right now. Yeah, another running back. 2 Auburn running backs just went. Glenn Vernon, Steve Thurston. So unless that D tackle already got taken, I'm taking him. It looks like he already, okay, he did already get taken. Okay, I was wondering why he wasn't getting taken already. So he must have got taken before the Seahawks could draft him. But I think we're going to take Eddie Stevens with this pick because he looks very good. So Eddie Stevens, he's a hidden development strong safety. He will probably start right away at strong safety. 91 speed, 86 agility, 89 acceleration. I'm very happy that we took Eddie Stevens. He was our final guy on our board. Now I think we focus on offensive line. So let's take a look at the offensive line. We have our next pick here in the second round, pick 30. We will take a look at the offensive line, see what we have. So left tackles, a lot of left tackles got taken off the board. No surprise there. Left guards, this guy Tevin Martin could be good, but he's around 3 to 4. I don't want to take him in the second round. He looks okay, but also those could be C's as well. As for the centers, we've got this guy Johnny Pritchett. Looks solid enough. Solid enough for a second round pick, I'd say. There's no tackles available. Guards, I don't really think there's anybody that's going to be good enough. We're probably either going to take that center or we're going to take the other guard or tackle, whoever we were looking at. It was the center Pritchett or it was Tevin Martin, that's right. But I don't want to take Tevin Martin because he's a third round projection. So I think I'm going to take Johnny Pritchett with this pick. He might be normal development. He is. 86 strength. But if he's a higher overall than Josh Myers, you never know. It just sucks that offensive lineman having normal development is super hard to develop. But it can happen. It can happen, you develop them. All right, then we go to the guard spot, and he's gone. Everybody's gone, actually. There is not a whole lot of offensive line talent available here in the third round. That's not good. Not good at all. There's one pass rusher left in the third to fourth round. He is not amazing, so we'll just stay away from him. He could be a hidden development player, but he doesn't look amazing. Is there like a super fast outside linebacker that I'm missing? Joshua Rivera's a run stopping with elite speed and elite acceleration. You know what? He doesn't look good skill-wise. He's probably normal development, but he's got elite speed and elite acceleration. I'm not going to pass that up. Not in the third round. For a freak athlete, not going to pass that up. 86 speed, 90 excel is crazy for an outside linebacker. You love to see it. And that's going to be the last pick that I do. We are going to sim to the end of the draft. Let the CPU handle it. If it's anything like the CPU in, what rebuild was that? Was that the Steeler rebuild? Or was that something else? I don't know what it was, but they drafted me a ton of hidden development players that in the late rounds. So maybe they can do it again. Wasn't the greatest draft in terms of getting development traits, but I think we got some good players that we can develop. I mean, we got Jabari Moss. I'm shocked, absolutely shocked that he is only normal development. He's a 78 overall. He's a top 5 true talent in the class, and he's only normal development. Eddie Stevens is 74. He might start right away. Pritchett's a 72. Rivera's only a 66, but he's going to sit behind people anyway, so it's not a big deal. They also drafted another corner, Brandon Springs, 22 years old, no development trait either. But he's got 88 speed, 71 man coverage. He's a pretty fast corner. And how tall is he? 6'1". He's not great in terms of his coverages, but he can develop. He's not going to start right away. Then you got a quarterback, outside linebacker, and a running back. How good was this class as a whole? If a 78 is a top 5 talent, it can't be that great. And it is not amazing. The top 4 players are all corners, which is absolutely insane. So Kenny Coleman, who we weren't going to have a shot at drafting anyway. Then you've got Jabari Moss, who's the same overall. Then you've got Kendrick Alston, who we couldn't have had a shot at drafting. And Brandon Davis, who we might have had a shot at drafting, but he's not as good as Jabari Moss is. But does he have a development trait? He does. So do you value that higher than an overall? I don't know. Maybe. I think we had an okay draft. It wasn't by far, or it wasn't my best draft by any means, that's for sure. I've definitely had better drafts in terms of just getting raw talent, but at this point, we're headed into year number 2. We're coming off a really good year where we made it to the NFC title game. Do we really need a bunch of like amazing players? Probably. So as far as development traits go, we've got ourselves Musgrave up to star, Jordan Love up to star, exactly what I expected to have happen. Then on defense, we've got Musgrave jumps back up to right outside linebacker. I don't have a problem with that. We've got Jabari Moss filling in there. Petrie's now at free safety. We've got Stevens starting at strong safety. Big improvements. We need to work on the defensive line a little bit. But other than that, we're pretty good. And it looks like they did draft me a hidden development linebacker, Reese. So I'll take that. Offensive line, Josh Myers will start again over Pritchett. Newman will be the right guard for right now. We're looking pretty solid. We're looking probably better than we were last season. We made it to the NFC title game. I'm going to simulate to the midseason mark of year number 2, and I'm hoping we have the same kind of start that we did in year number 1. We've made it to week 8 of season 2, the midseason mark, and this season has not gone the way that I expected it whatsoever. We might even be seeing some regression from some players. We are 1-6. I don't know how we've had such a turnaround. I haven't done anything differently. I thought we even got a little bit better than what we were in season 1. But this season has not gone our way. We're seeing regression, bad morale from people. I'm not sure what the problem is because we didn't really change too much. Stevens is a freaking superstar development player, by the way, so drafting God, hello. That's amazing. Who else was the other guy that we drafted? Oh, it was Jabari Moss. That's right. He didn't have a development trait. I don't know why we're bad, but we are bad. That is for sure. We are certainly a bad football team right now. I'm really glad that I didn't trade my first round pick because it looks like we're going to have one in the top half. I'm not sure why, but we are. I'll simulate to the end of the season, figure out maybe what's going on. But it's a lost season at this point. We're not going to see much development. We might see some upgrades for like development traits for Musgrave and stuff, but I don't know. This is weird. I haven't done anything different, and we're really bad. Maybe last year was a fluke. I don't know. Let's go to the end of the season and figure out what's going on with this team. We've made it to the end of year number 2. We turned it around a little bit. We turned it around somewhat. We finished 7-10, so we got a few more wins. We almost won the division. This division this year in the NFC North was not great. The Lions won it with an 8-9 record, so they were not a great team. It was not a great division. We could have easily walked away with this division, but we struggled for some reason. I'm not sure why, but there needs to be some changes. That is for sure. There needs to be some sort of change to make sure that year number 3 doesn't get a wasted season as well, because I can't be having 2 seasons in a row where we have a wasted season because we have somewhat older players at some positions. I don't want to waste their time. Niners are back in the Super Bowl trying to get revenge for losing last season to the Ravens. This year they're taking on the Jaguars. I wonder if they'll be able to do it. Let's take a look at the stats. What went wrong with this team this year? Why did we do so bad? I mean, Jordan Love didn't play horribly. 4,400 yards, 38 touchdowns, 11 picks, and a 70% completion percentage. That's a pretty good season. He was second in the league in passing yards as well. I'm not sure. It must have been the defense because that's a pretty solid season. That's around similar numbers to what he had just last year. 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns for Aaron Jones. 2 1,000-yard receivers, both Christian Watson and Jaden Reed. Musgrave had 10 touchdowns with 800 yards. He's not getting as many yards as I would think. I would expect him to be up here because he's in the Travis Kelce role, but he's not getting as many yards as I would expect him to. Defensively, 119 tackles for Devondre Campbell, 92 for Rashawn Gary with 12 tackles for loss and 4.5 sacks. Quay Walker had 91 tackles. Devontae Wyatt had a really good year. 81 tackles, 16 for loss, and 5 sacks. That could be star development. That's an amazing year. He led the team with tackles for loss, 12 for Gary, 6 for Van Ness. Sack leader was Kenny Clark with 7. Wyatt had 5, 4.5 for Gary, 2.5 for Carl Brooks. I don't know who that is. Van Ness only had 1. 6 picks for Jair Alexander. Wow. 3 for Jabari Moss, so it turns out not to be a full-on bust because he actually produced. Razul Douglas had 2. All right. Interesting numbers. I feel like the defense is more of the reason why we went 7-10, not so much the offense. Because I think the offense was about the same production that they were in year number 1. I'm not really sure why we lost so many games. Super Bowl number 2 of the rebuild, and the Niners do get their revenge. They win a championship, 31-24 over the Jags. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. We'll take a look at the recap, see if there's any awards that we won. I doubt it. There is no awards, not even Rookies of the Year. That's okay. Brock Purdy is your MVP of the Super Bowl, so cool. Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP of the league. Is that back-to-back? I think that is back-to-back from Patty Mahomes. But we need to figure out what went wrong, because I'm not too sure. If we're being totally honest, I'm not too sure. Oh my God! Jordan Love started the year as a star development player. He is now an X Factor. How? Why? What happened? So he just went Super Bowl week. He just got a development upgrade. So he was already superstar because he would have went up to superstar then. Let's see if we can find it. Him being okay. We can't go down past week 12. So he must have got it before week 12. He's now a freaking superstar X Factor player. I'm just shocked by this development. This is crazy. He's got pro reads. I don't really want him to have pro reads because if I jump in, I'm going to need something different. So we're going to give him Bazooka. Sure, might as well. And then I'm not going to really matter about those other superstar abilities. But Jordan Love being an X Factor is crazy. Musgrave is a star development player. That's awesome. Defensively, we've got Jabari Moss is... I'm not a bust. I'm a drafting god. It's that simple. Jabari Moss is a superstar development player after one season, and he was normal development. I know what I'm doing. It looks like Stevens lost his superstar, but he didn't have that bad of a year, so we're moving him back up. He had a really good year, actually. So he's going back up. I don't know why he lost it. He should have. I turned off progression, development trait regression, or whatever it's called, so that should not be a thing, but he's back up. Everybody else is looking good. Jabari Moss at Superstar is amazing. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Now we just need to figure out contracts, really. We need to figure out contracts. We need to figure out who's going to get re-signed. I did have to go through and re-sign a bunch of people. It was a lot of contracts that I had to re-sign. We had like 90 million at the beginning of the season, but I did re-sign a few players that took a lot of money. And Quay Walker, we're going to accept his option, obviously. Jordan Love needs a new contract, and we got to pay him. I think I'm going to franchise tag Jordan Love. We're going to accept the option on Devontae Wyatt, and everybody else can pretty much walk, I would guess. I mean, we could sign Royce Newman, but we can just play Pritchard probably at guard. We're going to negotiate with Jordan Love, and we're going to franchise tag Jordan Love. That's how it's going to happen. Because we simply do not have the money. So we'll have to wait till next season to bring in the cash, and then we will sign him to a deal. Although, to be fair, maybe he'll accept it. I'll offer him the most I can. Maybe he accepts this. He's going to test free agency. Well, we're going to tag you, Jordan. Franchise tag. It's going to be $50 million. My God. But, I mean, we have to do it, so we have to sign Jordan Love because he's now our guy. We're locked into him. Well, we don't have to worry about free agency again for the second straight year because we got no money. We've got absolutely no money. So we go to the draft. And now, since we didn't finish like really, really bad, we're not going to have that great of a draft pick either. So this is going to get real interesting with how we do this. I don't even know what our draft pick is. We'll have to wait till mock draft number 5 to figure out what our draft pick is even going to be. Because I got no idea. We really shouldn't have had that bad of a year, though. I'm so confused on why we had such a bad year. I honestly don't know. I'm befuddled, you could say, at why we had such a bad year. All right, private workouts. What is going to happen here? I did use my week 11 on a few guys, on Shaquille Douglas, so we could take him. He looked actually pretty good. If we take a look at him, I think he had elite speed. At least last time I looked, he did. Okay, he dropped. Oh, it was great to elite. He ends up having only great, but he does look pretty solid, and we could use defensive line help for sure, especially if we're not going to bring back Devontae Wyatt next season. Manny Lockhart is another top 5 corner who looks unbelievably good. But can I justify taking another corner after we just took one? I don't know if I can do that. There was another player that I used. Where's he at? He must have been farther down. Where's he at? He couldn't have been this far down. Did he drop this far? There was maybe I passed him already. There was a third guy that I used. I just don't remember his name. It wasn't Michaels. Who was it? It wasn't Devontae King. It had to have been somebody. Was it Quandre Gray? Was that who it was? It had to have been somebody like this because he doesn't look that great. Maybe it wasn't him. Oh, it was Terrell Jones. I walked right past, or I moved right past him. 80% on him. He looks pretty good. And we do need D tackle, so we'll figure out what we want to do. I'm gonna use one of them on him so we can figure out exactly how good he is. We already know that he's a top 5 talent. Who else do we need to look at? We need offensive line for sure. So we need to look at some offensive linemen. Let's go over to like the guards and stuff. Is there anybody that's going to be late in the draft like this guy right here? Will Hills, what a name. Looks all right. Does Emmett Ross look better though? 6'3", not good athletically, and I don't like to see the F even on the lead block, so not super interested in him. What about J.J. Edwards, center? Okay, doesn't look great. Guards. We've got this guy, Joe Martin. It doesn't look amazing. He's got the A to B, or A to C's, but they'll probably C's, judging by it. There's a couple top 5 tackles. Not a whole lot available. I will say that much. There is not a whole lot on the table for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use J.J. Edwards. I'm going to use Will Hills. And we're going to use that other guy that I saw earlier, the D tackle, just to make sure that we know how good he actually is. So Terrell Jones. There we go. Perfect. Those will be the 3 guys that we utilize. And we will go into the draft and figure out what we got to do. We need to make sure we know exactly what the mock draft looks like so we're prepared in case for some reason we need to trade up to get somebody, but I doubt we have to trade up. I wouldn't put it past us because we always have to trade up. But let's get the prospects on the board first. So I want to have Manny Lockhart on the board. I want to have Terrell Jones. He's a round 1 talent, by the way, so that's good to know. So we got those 2 guys on the board, and then we go to the guards, and we put Will Hills on the board, and even Emmett Ross probably. And we put J.J. Edwards on the board, and that's probably it. And I'll put Joe Martin on the board, but he doesn't look that great. He doesn't look amazing. And then I'll put Shaquille Douglas on the board, but we're probably not going to be in the room to draft him. And I backed out before I took a look at the mock draft. Let's take a look at it. Mock draft number 5. All right, how is everybody shaping up? So Terrell Jones is going to go in the first 10 picks. That's not good. Shaquille Douglas goes to us at 12. Okay, I don't hate that. Lockhart goes 17. And then nobody else, it looks like? Okay. So we would be in position to draft the corner, the top 5 corner. But at this point, we don't need a top 5 corner. We have 3 pretty decent corners. We need defensive line more than anything. And Shaquille Douglas looks decent. Is he a top 15 pick? Probably not. And we know for a fact that he's a top 5 talent, Manny Lockhart. But we don't need corner. That's the thing. Like, we don't need a corner as much as we need a defensive lineman. But I know he's a top 5 talent. We can't pass up on that. Can we pass up on it? We obviously need offensive line for sure. Corner, we've got 4 corners. We can't draft a corner even though I want to so bad. I mean, look at this defensive line. We absolutely need defensive line. And offensive line. We need defense and offensive line are the 2 things we need to draft. And maybe a receiver, but we'll get there. We can't draft the corner. Even as much as I want to, we simply cannot draft the corner. Let's go to our pick. Morton goes 1 to the Giants. There goes Basket to the Rams. Offensive line going quickly off the board, especially those tackles. A lot of tackles going. Quandre Gray goes. Now we're into the linemen. There goes Terrell Jones to the Patriots. We figured he would go. But we are now at our pick, and we've got to take the defensive lineman. We need defensive linemen. Shaquille Douglas is 6'3", 276. I want to take you, Manny, but we simply can't do it. We simply can't do it. We have to go off of our needs, not best player available. He doesn't look that great, but if we turn him to a defensive lineman, to a D tackle, I mean, maybe he becomes better. He's hidden development. That makes me a little bit happier. 85 strength, 87 acceleration. I wonder what he is at D tackle. Because he's got B power moves. I don't know. We'll try him out at D tackle. If he's not good, we'll move him back to right end. But it just hurts my soul that I left the top 5 talent on there, and the Raiders are going to grab him, and it's going to make me mad. But we simply could not do it. We simply could not, and I'm not going to trade up. It'd be a waste of assets that we really don't have. And there he goes. Manny Lockhart, true top 5 talent, goes to the Raiders. Hurts my soul, but I simply could not make it work. We have 4 corners that are good. We could not make that happen. As far as receiver goes, we don't have that many great receivers. And Gerald Richard could be something. He's got elite speed. I'm very intrigued by that. I do want to take a look at the favorites board. So we're into the round 3s. If we were going to take anybody else, it would have to be Joe Martin. But Joe Martin was a guy that I was like, didn't look that great. Yeah, I'm not going to take Joe Martin. So he can go off the board. I'm going to take that receiver, actually. Because I mentioned we need a receiver. And Gerald Richard with elite speed? Yes, please. Hidden development, 97 speed is insane. 6'1" out of San Diego State. Another weapon for Jordan Love to pair alongside Dobbs, Reed, and Watson. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. We needed a 4th receiver. We got it. Now we can focus solely on offensive line with the next picks. I just hope that they're all available. Luckily, we have pretty high picks in the round, so they should be. And if we go to them, yes, all 3 of them are still here. Who do we want to take first? We should probably take J.J. Edwards first because we know for a fact that he's around 2 to 3 talent. Now, these guys might be as well, but J.J. Edwards, another center, but we can move him around to guard. He is hidden development. That's big. That's big. This is a much better draft than what we had in Season 1, for sure. Much better draft. Now, I'm banking that one of the 2 guards is here in round 4 because they were round 3 to 4. I doubt they are, but I'm banking on them being there, and neither of them are there. Man, I was hoping that they would be. They must have got taken in the round 3. That's what I would guess. But we did get the center that we wanted, so that's good. And there's not a whole lot of offensive line help left. You've got this guy, Morris Bohannon, who is pretty much just a waste of a pick, I would think. But we'll take him anyway. Hidden development for Morris Bohannon. Look at that. I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game. You are not a bust of a pick. That's a solid drafting god. What do I tell you? That's a solid pickup. And then we'll let the CPU handle the rest. That was a really good draft. We got normal development on all 4 of our picks. We got a defensive lineman that we absolutely needed. We got a receiver who we needed, but wasn't part of the plan initially. We got a center who has hidden development that is going to be probably moved to guard, and we got the tackle. So I'd say that was a pretty solid draft in the top 4 rounds. Douglas ends up being a 74. Richards is 76, and then 70 for Edwards. Bohannon's a 66, so he's going to take a little bit of time to develop. But hey, I'd say that's a pretty solid core of guys for this draft. How good was Manny? Manny was a 78, so it was the same pick as what the dude last year was. This draft, again, wasn't amazing. Was not amazing. A running back was the top pick. Amari Morris was the highest rated player that wasn't a running back. He's a 78 overall. But I'm happy with what we got. I'm very happy with what we got. It adds more depth to the team, and it makes me feel a little bit better that we got a wide receiver that is pretty decent. So let's take a look at this roster headed into year number 3 and figure out what the next move is. So we will adjust the lineup as such, and we've got Runyon as a 71, or Ryan, excuse me. Ryan is a 71. I probably will have Edwards move over to guard and start right at guard because he's the same overall as the guy that we have there right now, and this guy has more potential. So we're going to move him over to guard and have him start. And then Bohannon will be back behind Tom. Musgrave's a development or a superstar development. And then on the defense, we've got 4 solid corners. He's a 72 D tackle. What did I tell you? He's a 72 D tackle. He's a 74 right end, but he's a 72 D tackle. I'd say that's pretty solid. We're going to move him there because we need to have a D tackle that has some potential. So he's over at D tackle. He's now starting. Devontae Wyatt's there. Remember, we accepted the option Devontae Wyatt. Fort is actually a development trait guy. Hidden development trait. That's somebody that they drafted in CPU. The CPU did. But we now have a decision to make on Jordan Love because he's going to need his contract. We tagged him for this season, but he's going to need a contract, so we're going to figure out what to do there. I'm going to simulate to week 8 of season 3, the mid-season mark, and I'm hoping that last year was the fluke and not year 1, and we're actually a really good team. But I'll simulate then, and I'll see you guys then. That was a lot of thens. I'll catch you guys when I get there. We've made it to week number 8, and we currently sit at 4-3 on the year. A much better result at this point in year number 3 than it was in year number 2 when we were like 1-7 or something like that, or 1-6, whatever it was. So we now have a little bit of a better chance of actually having a good second half of the year, even though we did win 6 games to finish 7-10 in year number 2. I don't want to do that again. I want to actually win a bunch of games, and I want to win a championship soon. I think this team can do it. We've got ourselves hopefully some good morale. I know we're coming off of a loss to the Vikings, but 82 overall, Jordan Love, X Factor. Remember, we're trying to decide whether to re-sign him or not. We tagged him for I think it was $50.8 million we tagged Jordan Love for. That's a lot of money. That's a massive amount of money. For one season, we tagged him for that, and he's not even like a high 90 overall or anything. He's an 80. But at 4-3, at this point in the year, I'm a little bit happier, but I'm also a little bit worried. And here he is. He doesn't want to be here either because he wants to play for a Super Bowl, and we are apparently underdogs. Okay. If we sign Jordan Love, it's going to be all of our money. And yes, I have a sucker. It's a Tootsie Pop. Get over it. It's my video. If we sign him, it's going to be all of our money. We need to make that decision before we go and sign all these guys. And I don't think that we can afford to sign Jordan Love and not sign all of these other guys, because all these other guys are going to be more crucial, I would think, than Jordan Love is. Because to be fair, any quarterback can perform in the Kansas City playbook. I don't know what to do. Do we trade Jordan Love? Is that the possibility? Do we trade Jordan Love to another team and then re-sign a bunch of other players? That might be the possible outcome. Obviously not at this season, or like at this point. We're going to wait till the end of the season to do it, if we do it. But is that what we do? Do we trade our X Factor quarterback, who's still like low overall at an 80, for whatever we could get for him? We take a massive penalty is the only problem. Why did I have to put myself in this spot? I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I'm going to simulate to the end of the season, to the playoffs. Hopefully we're involved in them. If we're not, I'm going to be sad. I'll see you guys then. Alright, so my camera kind of cut out or crashed or something. I don't know what happened. It was weird. So I got it back up. I unfortunately don't know, since I'm recording this, I haven't edited the rest of the video before I've recorded this part of it. I don't know how much of the footage I lost on my camera, so there might be a big chunk of the video, or maybe all of the video until up to this point, that doesn't have my face in it. That could be pretty awkward, but hey, it is what it is. That's what happens when you're by yourself and you record everything and you edit everything by yourself. So If I don't have my face cam for the entirety of the video up until this point, I apologize. It must have got corrupted or something. I don't know. But we're here. We're here now. I should be back up. Or if I don't have my face cam this entire video and I'm talking to you with no face cam and I'm talking about the face cam, that's a little awkward too. Just get over it. It's a rebuild video. It's whatever. It's the World of Juice channel. Expect the unexpected. Here we are at the playoffs. We went 13-4, so we had a much better second half of the season than we had beginning of the year, because I think we were 4-3 at the beginning of the year, so we really, really stepped up, had a much better end of the year. Very happy about that. Very, very happy about that, because that means that Jordan Love is progressing a little bit more. That means that the receivers are playing well, the tight ends are playing good, the running backs are playing, everybody's playing good, everybody's playing happy and good football. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. The only problem is, like we've talked about this entire season so far, we've got to decide on what to do with Jordan Love, because his contract is up. We extended him with a franchise tag last offseason. What are we going to do now? Probably trade him, because we have absolutely no money, and we have to spend that money on the guys that are around the team that need to come back. So Jordan Love, even though he had a really good year, 4,800 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 picks, and had a much better completion percentage at 74%, he's probably going to have to get moved, even though I don't really want to move him, but I don't have any other choice. Running back-wise, we had 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns for Aaron Jones. We had 1,200 yards for Luke Musgrave, so he finally arrived as the Travis Kelce type tight end that we wanted him to be. That will most likely, almost definitely be X factor for Luke Musgrave. And then we got Romeo Doubs, 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns. Jaden Reed had a pretty good season. Watson had a pretty good year. Love to see all that. Defensively, 100 tackles even for Quay Walker is amazing to see. Rasul Douglas played well. Eddie Stevens, the rookie out of Ole Miss, played really well. Devondre Campbell had a decent season, not as good as he used to have because he's getting a little bit older at this point. Shaquille Douglas had a really, really good year. Ooh, that could be Rookie of the Year. 75 tackles, 14 for loss, and 7.5 sacks. That's got to be Rookie of the Year numbers, Defensive Rookie of the Year numbers. So he's already, I think, star development. He's got to go up to superstar. That's for sure. That's got to be Rookie of the Year. I don't know what other rookie on the defense would have a better season than that. That's an unbelievable season. Kenny Clark led the team with 16 tackles for loss. 11.5 sacks for Devontae Wyatt. I hope he goes up to star because he's been producing for the entirety of this rebuild. So he's really been producing. Kenny Clark, 6.5 sacks, 4.5 for Rashawn Gary. Pick leader was Campbell with 4. Very interesting. Douglas had 3, and then a couple guys had 1. But that is where we sit at year number 3 playoffs. Can we get the job done against rival Detroit to go back to the NFC title game for the second time in 3 seasons? I sure as heck hope so, and it's our rivals. Not really true rivals, but I mean our rivals in this video because they knocked us out in year number 1 in the NFC title game, and now we're back. The Niners have been in the Super Bowl the past 2 seasons. They're looking to go back for a 3rd straight year, but we're looking to go back for the first time since we won the Super Bowl in like 2010, I think is what it was. We're actually going to jump into this one. I didn't jump in the NFC title game in year number 1 because it was year number 1. But in year number 3, we are jumping in to try to help this team win. Let's go see if we can beat the Niners and get some revenge. This Niners team is going to be very tough to beat, but we lead 7-0, 7-7 now. Come on, boys. 14-7. 21-7. That's what I like to see. 21-14 third quarter. 28-14. 28-21. They're starting to pull back. It's 28-28. 35-28. And I think they just turned the ball back over to us. They did. It is 35-28 and the Niners don't score. 3rd and 6. 4th and inches. They use all their timeouts. We punt the ball back to the Niners. 2nd and 10. 1st and 10. 2nd and 1. Come on. They have no timeouts. Stop them, defense. What are we doing? 26 seconds, and the defending Super Bowl champions are trying to get a tie ball game here in Green Bay. It's cold, the frigid tundra of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Tackle him in the field. They don't have enough time. 20 seconds, 9, one final play. Is he gonna get the snap off? He does. They gotta go to the end zone. Tackle him, incomplete, but there's 1 play left. 1 second on the clock. We thought we had him stopped. This is for all the marbles. If they score, we go to overtime. If they don't, we go to the Super Bowl. Quick throw, knock it out. It's a touchdown, San Francisco. Deebo Samuel. We had it in our, they're gonna go for the win. They're going to go for the win. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's a quick throw. Tackle him. Packers are going to the Super Bowl. They went for the 2-point conversion, and it was a quarterback, like, rollout. The Green Bay Packers are going back to the Super Bowl. I don't know what that was. Why they called that play on a 2-point conversion. You probably should have called a quick slant or something, because they had to have known we were going to bring the house. I don't know what that was for Kyle Shanahan in the offense, but I will take it. 35-34 victory over San Francisco, and the Green Bay Packers are headed back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2010. And we're taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go see if we can win ourselves a Super Bowl in year number 3. This would be awesome because then we wouldn't really have to worry too much about Jordan Love because we would have already won a Super Bowl, and then we can figure out what to do with him and then go one more season in year number 4 and try to go back to back, but I doubt we would if we got rid of Jordan Love. They're 11-6, we're 13-4. Let's go try to win a Super Bowl here in year number 3. It is Super Bowl time here in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure is where we're at, and we lead 7-0, 7-3, 14-3, 14-10. They score at the end of the first half. 21-10, third quarter. Back and forth, 21-18. Come on, boys. Okay, now we're into the 2-minute warning area. 21-18. This is a massive, massive play. It's 4th and 16. Oh, we kicked the field goal. That's good. 24-18. Raiders are driving. I don't like that, but they got it. We got it back. I don't know how we got it back, but we have it back. It's 3rd and 12 with 48 seconds to go. It is 3rd and 12 with 48 seconds to go. All we have to do is kneel this football, and the Green Bay Packers are world champions for the 4th time? Right? Because they won the first 2, and then they... No, for the 5th time, because they won one with Brett Favre. So that would be the 5th time. Yeah, they won like 1990 or something. No, not with Brett. That would have been when Brett Favre was coming into the league. They won... What one did they win? I know they won one with Brett Favre, and then they obviously won one with Aaron Rodgers. But now we've got one with Jordan Love. Super Bowl champions. I think it's Super Bowl 60, actually. Yeah, LX, because L is 50 and 10X is 10, so that'd be 60. But the Green Bay Packers are world champions. It was a dramatic playoffs because we had to go through, well, the Lions weren't really that dramatic, but then we had to go through the Niners in the NFC title game and won by 1 point on a failed 2-point conversion. And then we go to the Super Bowl and take down the Raiders. I don't know who that quarterback is. Let's see if I can see the name. Oh, nope, they didn't show his name. I don't know who it is, but doesn't matter. He's not a Super Bowl champion. Not yet, at least. And we've completed the rebuild. We have brought the Packers back to prominence. But we will go one more season just because I want to see if we can repeat. And we've only gone 3 years so far. So we might as well go 4 seasons. It's just a matter of, is that man going to be the quarterback next season? He probably won't be because we got to bring back everybody else, right? Although, how can you deny having Jordan Love not be your quarterback? Tyler Huntley was the Super Bowl quarterback for the Raiders. Tyler Huntley. Wow, that is insane. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a Super Bowl team led by Tyler Huntley. That is insane. I need to see, is he still like, he's got to be higher overall. There's no way the Raiders team is that good where they carried a quarterback that bad. We got to go to the Raiders and find out. How good is Tyler Huntley? He's a 75. Okay, so he's more reasonable. He's developed fairly well. That's the first time I've ever seen Tyler Huntley develop pretty well in a sim. That's pretty shocking. I did not expect him to be the quarterback. I thought it was going to be some auto-generated guy that they drafted. But Tyler Huntley was there. He didn't get the championship. We did. We are world champions. Season recap is Quay Walker MVP. He must have had a pick or something. And we don't get Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tony Richardson had a better Rookie of the Year, had a better rookie season than we did. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe it one bit that he had a better rookie year than our guy. Let me just go and find out. You know what? We can do that really quickly. Let me just go and find out. He was on the Browns. He's a middle linebacker. How good of a season did he have to where he was better than our guy? Defensively, he had 130 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 picks, 2 tackles for loss. This is the Rookie of the Year defensively. Our guy was much better than that. Yeah, he didn't have the tackles, but he had the sacks and the picks. Where's our guy at? Here he is. 75 tackles, 14 for loss, and 7.5 sacks. Tell me what you would rather have. Would you rather have a middle linebacker that's getting a ton of tackles but not a whole lot of picks and sacks? Or would you rather have a guy that's on the defensive line that's getting tackles for loss, he's getting to the quarterback, he's getting pressure? Tell me what you would rather have. I say my guy, but of course I would. So we've won the Super Bowl, we've completed the rebuild, and now we head into the offseason, the final offseason now, because we are ending it after year number 4, but we might as well see how we do. Let's go to this re-sign period. We have to make the decision. We have to decide, are we going to bring back Jordan Love and forget everybody else, which includes like Jalen Petrie and among others, or are we going to trade Jordan Love and get everybody else? Because we have some big guys that need contracts, like Christian Watson, like Jalen Petrie, like Tyler Algier, like Eric Stokes, Romeo Doubs, Zach Tom. There's a lot of crucial pieces to this team that we probably should bring back. Or do we get all of those guys gone and just rely on Jordan Love and the rest of the team around him? Because Christian Watson's not necessarily the biggest deal because we do have that other receiver that we brought in. Jalen Petrie is a little bit upsetting because we'd have to trade him to get another free safety. Tyler Algiel's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Jordan Love wants to be here because we did win the championship, but we don't have the money to bring him back on the contract that he wants, so I don't even know if we have an option to bring Jordan Love back, because with only $22 million, we might just have to move on from Mr. Jordan Love. I think that's what I'm going to do. One final season, we're going to try to bring back all of these guys, so let's do that. We have to slightly overpay for a couple of them because they don't want to be here. Jalen Petrie's coming back. We want we need either Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson to come back. Can I get both of them? Probably not. We'll take Christian Watson, and that's probably going to have to be it. Christian Watson's back. We have $3.4 million, so we're going to have to trade everybody else. So we're going to have to trade Romeo Doubs, Eric Stokes, Tyler Algier, and the big one, Jordan Love. It's not going to go well, but we have to make sure we get our quarterback. So let's go to the trade screen and see who we can get for Jordan Love. Who can we get for Jordan Love? If we go right here, we can bring in some okay players, but no quarterbacks. I want a quarterback, so we are going to have to go for somebody. Can we get a Joe Burrow? Probably not. Can we get a Justin Herbert type? Maybe. But he's only star development, which is shocking. Anthony Richardson, Sam Howell. I'll keep an eye on Justin Herbert. We can probably not get Jalen Hurts. Brock Purdy's led the Niners to 3 straight NFC title games, but I don't want to send Jordan Love to our rival. Trevor Lawrence is making too much money in a cap hit. Bryce Young, that is definitely a different portrait for Bryce Young. They updated that. So Madden is changing things. So maybe I'm not as crazy as I thought. Lamar Jackson, making way too much money in the cap hit. Kenny Pickett, CJ Stroud. We don't have time to develop Kenny Pickett. Tua's on the Bears now. Joe Burrow. Can we get Joe? Can we get Jinglin' Joe? No, wow, okay. What about if I just give you every draft pick I have? Because this is the final season, so it's not like we need these draft picks. 2 first-round picks in Jordan Love does not even move the needle at all. What about the next year's seconds as well? That gets it closer, but Joe Burrow's not on the table. That is for sure. Joe Burrow is not on the table. Josh Allen wouldn't be on the table anyway because he's making too much money. Justin Herbert I am intrigued by, and so I'm obviously intrigued by Mahomes. I might as well offer. Oh, I can't because they're not making enough money. What about Justin Herbert? Can we get Justin Herbert? Trade declined. I feel like we could do this. If we give them every single draft pick we have and Jordan Love, I know he's not an X factor, but we could maybe do this. And I never get Justin Herbert in any of my videos, so this could be fun. Trade decline. And putting him in the Kansas City offense would be very interesting. 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and Jordan Love for Justin Herbert. It still didn't go through. I did not see that coming. I thought that would go through. They don't even want our first-round pick from this year. Wow, okay. We'll have to clear this all out and trade our first round pick, trade up to get somebody else's higher pick, slightly higher pick. So, like, if we trade up to pick 27, maybe 26. Okay, let's trade up to pick 26 of the Lions. That should be enough value to move up or to get Justin Herbert. So, if we trade away a 4, 2 4s alongside this, or actually a 5, because I clicked that. Trade declined. What about the 4? We're trading all of our draft picks, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need them. I'll throw in 2 5s as well. How's 2 5s? Trade offer accepted. So we trade up with the Lions. We get pick 26. Now we're going to use that pick to trade alongside the rest of our picks to get Justin Herbert. So Jordan Love plus this year's pick, next year's pick, next year's second, next year's first, and or the year after's first and second. That should be enough to grab Justin Herbert. Chargers, Justin Herbert. And what's his contract? He is on he's got 4 years on the deal. Okay, so it wouldn't matter because we're not going any more than 1 year, but let's see if this works. Justin Herbert, trade declined. Unfortunately, we can't consider the offer. It will put us over the salary cap. Oh, because they only have 27 million, they're taking on a bunch of first and second round picks. That would, the cap, they're counting in the cap. Oh, well, that's stupid. That's so stupid. Would this work for Mahomes then? Oh, no, they wouldn't work for Mahomes because they don't have any money in the first place. Well, who's going to be able to take the money on? Who's going to be able to take the money? Not the Eagles. Not the Niners. Not the Jags. I don't think there's going to be any way that we can do this. I'm not losing freaking my guy. I'm not losing Jordan Love for nothing, so we have to get somebody back. We could go for CJ Stroud. I mean, they'd probably be able to take this deal. But is CJ the guy that we go for? CJ can't be the guy that we go for. Tua, it probably... Wait, can I do Tua? This might be a little bit too much. Let's throw that in there. It puts us over the salary cap. What if I take away some picks? Trade declined. I'll take away another pick. Okay, so now we're in a range where we can actually probably do this, but we have to give them somebody else. I could give them Tyler Algier, I guess, because we have to get rid of him as well. So how's that? For Tua, that doesn't work, really? What about if I give you a draft pick as well? I'll give you a 3rd round pick since you probably can't take any more than that. We're going to need significantly more compensation. I'll give you something else. I'll give you a 6th round pick in 2028 because I don't have a lot. That puts us over the salary cap? Really? That puts you over the salary cap with another draft pick? All right, well, I'll give you a player. I'll give you Quinn Norton, kicker. How's that? Is that going to work? Trade declined. We're going to need significantly more compensation. What do you want? I'll give you whatever you want. I'll give you... We have Eric Stokes that we brought back, didn't we? Or are we not going to bring back? I don't remember. I think we did re-sign him, right? I'll give you this guy, Kingsley. Take it. Accept. Can't consider the offer. It will put us over the salary cap. How will it put you over the salary cap, my guys? Oh, and I can't trade you 1st round picks. Not even if I give you a 2028 1st round pick. That shouldn't count against your salary cap, right? It does, apparently. I don't know how. Oh, my God. I just want to get a quarterback that's going to be good. You know what? Screw it. We're only going 3 seasons. I don't care. We won the Super Bowl. The rebuild's over. I don't want to worry about this anymore. We're not going to be able to get another quarterback. Everybody's screwed on cap. We won the Super Bowl. Video's over. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's take one final look at the team. Jordan Love got it done. Aaron Jones, we kept basically the same team. Yeah, we added a few rookies and stuff, but basically the same team. We got just basically the same offensive line. We just developed them. And then on defense, we've got pretty much the same team. Douglas is up to a superstar development. We've got Stevens, who we drafted. Moss is up to superstar, but we knew that. We added Petrie, we added Moss, and we added Stevens. But that's basically the team. This is the Packers. We just added a few rookies and didn't really make that any trades. We didn't make any trades, really. because we still have Jordan Love. We still have the offensive line the same. That's the team. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I apologize if my face cam is not in for most of the video. Like I said, it kind of crapped out on me, and I don't know why, but it is what it is. If you enjoyed, leave a like, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.